The silly season just keeps on rolling. Esteban Ocon's sudden departure from Alpine came at possibly the most inconvenient and disruptive time for both the team and the driver, and it continues the trend seen this year of a single announcement opening up a whole can of worms. Gone are the days where a driver can simply move from one team to another, as in this critical period, every driver move either opens up a seat or locks a seat down that the rest of the grid can no longer rely on. For the time being, Esteban Ocon's departure merely does the former, however it does seem that his future may already be secured if he is to be believed. It doesn't seem like it's the end for Ocon, but his release from the French team could spell doom for someone else on the grid, and could give away far more about the driver market than we first realized. Want to know who could be making a shock comeback to the sport after leaving it behind a couple of years ago? We'll give you a hint. He's blonde, he's German, and he would make a massive impact upon his return. And stick around, because Esteban's departure could spell doom for another driver on the grid. So Esteban Ocon will be parting ways with Alpine at the end of the season. Considering just a few days back he may not have even seen the next race, this is quite the improvement in circumstances for the driver. Ocon joined Alpine back in 2020, with his contract with the French team expiring at the end of the season, and he is leaving at a time where both his and the team's stock is at an all-time low. Following a steady decline over the past couple of years for the team and a high-profile incident just last race, it's safe to say that the two parties aren't in the best position, so a split probably benefits everyone involved. Alpine gets a fresh approach after 5 seasons of trying with Ocon, and Ocon gets a new teammate to crash into. All jokes aside, hopefully this break will be the best thing for Ocon, and it certainly seems that he's taking it in his stride as he made this announcement on Monday. It's been a significant period of my life to be racing at this team in Formula 1. While I've been here for 5 years as a full-time racing driver, my professional career started at Enstone back when I was a teenager, so it will always be a special place for me. We have had some great moments together, some tough moments as well, and I am certainly grateful to everyone at the team for these memorable times. I will announce my plans very soon, but in the meantime, my full focus is on delivering on track for this team and having a successful remainder of the season. So it seems that Ocon has something lined up for his future, however it's interesting that it couldn't be expanded upon at this time. Perhaps there is someone already in that seat that is unbeknownst that their future is currently down at the job centre. We think we have an idea as to who that could be, but we'll get into that more later. It's been rumoured for a while now that Ocon may well be moving on from the French team, and given Bruno Famin's comments after the lap horn incident at Monaco and the public pylon to follow, it may well be that Ocon's departure had indeed been made more of an immediate reality. Rumours have been rife throughout the season that Ocon's future may well lay elsewhere, with the French driver shopping around. Plus, the repeated incidents within an already struggling Alpine team may have made this situation more or less guaranteed. What is a point of curiosity for us is whether Bruno tried to have it be a more immediate resolution following the Monaco Grand Prix, and if Ocon managed to talk himself away from a sheer drop, or management had to get involved to ensure that his contract was to be fulfilled, rather than face the PR nightmare of being dropped mid-season. Bruno gave a pretty glowing reference to Ocon upon the announcement of his departure, so it seems that it was mutually agreed upon that the parting ways was for the best. So this brings up 2 questions. Who will be replacing Ocon, and who, if anyone, could Ocon be replacing? Well, starting with the former, it seems that there could be a few candidates in line, some of which we discussed last week. It appears, now that Ocon will be departing, Alpine will more aggressively pursue a long-term signature from fellow Frenchman Pierre Gasly, so the team will have a steady and experienced pair of hands to partner the team's new addition. This opens up the opportunity for the team to take on a less experienced driver and someone they can develop alongside Gasly while comparing them against the 28-year-old benchmark. Someone long anticipated for the Alpine seat is current reserve driver Jack Doohan, who was removed from F2 this season in order to spend more time in his reserve driver duties, such as shadowing the current drivers, doing testing and simulator programs, as well as having more trackside and media appearances throughout the season. Following Ocon's collision with Gasly at Monaco, Bruno Famin was seen talking to Doohan in what was assumed at the time to be a potential call-up for Canada. According to Lawrence Barretto's article on the F1 website, Doohan is highly respected, and his entry into F1 has been long anticipated by the Alpine team members, with the journalist having this to say on the matter. As I've written for several months, reserve driver Jack Doohan is a serious contender for a race debut with the team next year. The Enstone squad rate him highly, he's fast and a popular member of the team, and Alpine are keen to prove their driver academy provides a genuine path all the way to the top. so it seems the Doohan is a strong candidate, and that last section may well be the linchpin of his F1 hopes. For better or for worse, a key part of Team Enstone, whether under the guise of Renault, Alpine, or Renault, is their pride, especially in regards to their junior program. From as far back as the likes of Robert Kubica and Heikki Kovalainen, all the way up to Guan Yu Zhou and Oscar Piastri, ouch, the Renault Academy has bred drivers of a high caliber and long tenure at the top end of motorsport. The opportunity to promote from within was denied by the aforementioned Piastri. Guan Yu Zhou was ready at a time that couldn't be capitalized on by Alpine, and Antoine Hubert was denied his rise to the top seat in motorsport due to tragic circumstances. So Renault will see the opportunity to promote from their driver academy to their team as an opportunity that is too good to pass up. What could make it even better is if it was a French driver. However, the F3 champion Victor Martin is currently in a premature position in regards to a promotion opportunity, so may well be a driver for the future, perhaps even destined to take the spot that Doohan would leave behind as the Alpine reserve driver, but not necessarily one for right now. The other young option with the benefit of having Formula 1 experience is the blonde German we spoke about earlier, and if you thought we were talking about Seb, then frankly that's on you, dummy. Mick Schumacher has been making waves in the Alpine World Endurance Championship team, impressing Bruno Famin and many of the other Alpine higher-ups. As we discussed last week, it was more than his speed which has impressed so far, with his mentality being a real highlight for Bruno Famin, who said he was certainly on the shortlist of driver options for Alpine next season. The main thing that Schumi has that Doohan doesn't is Formula 1 experience, both with the Haas disaster season that is hard to blame on him, as well as a prolonged stint as a Mercedes reserve and test driver, where he was said by the Brackley team to have made the difference at critical points of the season due to his work behind the scenes. Truth be told, that aforementioned pride at Alpine may well be the reason that Schumi isn't called up, as the benefits that he brings to the team, whether experience, commercial or mentality-wise, seem to be far beyond that of Doohan, who hasn't won a title so far in his junior career, unlike the 2020 F2 champion currently impressing in the Alpine WEC team. So then, what's next for Ocon? Well, it seems that there are only 3 credible options for the Frenchman: Williams, Audi and Haas, rather than considering which would be the best option for Ocon, as realistically all 3 options could be entirely different entities at the turn of the new regulations, with Audi being a complete overhaul, Williams being a long-term project ongoing, and Haas, well, they're Haas. We think the best thing to do would be look at how Ocon's next location could affect the rest of the grid. If Ocon secures a seat at Williams or Audi, it would likely force Carlos Sainz into the opposite option, due to both teams being frontrunners for the Spaniard's signature. We've said before that Sainz's slow approach to a rapidly changing driver market could be his undoing, and a situation such as Ocon being available and hungry to tie himself down at the best option possible, while potentially being at a lower price and expectation than Sainz, could end up being the thing that pushes Sainz one way or the other, due to one seat already being secured at each team by Nico Hülkenberg and Alex Albon. To us, however, the option that makes the most sense is Haas, with it being the worst kept secret in the paddock that the driver has been in ongoing discussions with the pseudo-American team. Given the team's ongoing frustrations with Kevin Magnussen following plenty of high-profile and expensive accidents so far this season, Haas will be looking to bring in another experienced driver to pair with the assumed arrival of Oliver Behrman. The main threat to Ocon there would be the very experienced and safe Valtteri Bottas, who may himself be displaced by the end of the year, so Ocon needs to act quick regardless of where he ends up at the beginning of next year. Thank you for watching. Let us know your thoughts as to who will end up at Alpine and where Ocon could end up, if anywhere.